Okay.
All right, I'd like to welcome you all to this council meeting. Call this meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock on July 1st, 2025, and I'm Sherry Tice, President Pro Tem, sitting in for President Keller this evening. Mrs. Colasar, will you please call the roll?
Keller,
Absent.
Hedges,
Absent.
Tice,
Here.
Blitzka,
Here.
Hallinan,
Absent.
Moats,
Here.
Lukasak,
Absent.
Duval.
Here.
I'd invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and you're welcome to join us in the invocation that will follow if you wish. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Okay, council members should have received the minutes from the June 17th council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
I have none.
Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Moved by John Moats, seconded by Tom Duval. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Are there any reports from council members? Mr. Blitzka, Chairman of the Judicial Committee.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We have one ordinance that to review this evening, and hopefully we'll have that available in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
We have
Mr. Duval.
from the Finance Committee on our meeting on the 24th, we have two ordinances to present to council tonight.
Thank you.
And also, while we're at it, we currently have the 15th scheduled for the Service Committee for our walkthrough of the City of Circleville Utilities Department. We're going to take a quick head count on that and either modify it, which I will do by email, or let it stand as it sits. And information will come soon.
Okay. So the tour is currently scheduled for 2 weeks from tonight, Tuesday, for the walkthrough of the water department. Is that correct? Or is it it's the Washington Street facility?
Yes.
Yes.
Utilities.
Okay. Utilities.
It's the old service department.
And what time is that scheduled?
5:30.
5:30. Okay. So you'll keep us posted on whether that gets postponed.
I will. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. We are pleased to have several city officials with us this evening, including our mayor, Michelle Blanton, and our auditor, Mark Bidwell. Do either of you have reports to share with us?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that our annual report is done for the 2024 year. It is available in the lobby downstairs that can be viewed at any time.
Thank you. Mayor?
Yes, I have a couple of things. First of all, I want to just give some praise, appreciation, and recognition for our police, fire, and street crews. Since the last time we were here for a council meeting, they've had a couple very large citywide events, whether that be flooding or the evacuation of Ohio Healthburger Hospital on Pickaway Street. And so I just wanted to publicly acknowledge and thank them for all of the work that they did, along with other agencies throughout the community. So I wanted to do that at this meeting. Wanted to let everyone know we have officially been recognized as an America 250 community. I think I said that before. We did receive our flag, so it is laid out. We're trying to get the wrinkles out of it so that we'll be able to use that in preparation and acknowledgement of America 250 as we get to celebrate that in 2026. Please be on the lookout for more information about that. The July newsletter was sent out. It is 13 pages. I want to highlight a couple of things that are in here. Of course, the meeting schedule for this month is published in there. I know that is fluid as special meetings or additional meetings have to be added. Friday, July 11th, we have our second Movies in the Park as part of our summer movie series. The movie is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. We will have pizza and popcorn. We will have water, and there's sponsors that will be there. So we're excited for that. The movie will start around sunset. And given this time of the year, that varies a little bit as we lose a little bit of time. So once it's dark enough to be able to see the screen, we will start the movie. This week is the July 4th holiday, so we put some information in here about fireworks to highlight what the rules are, when you can set them off, safety precautions as well, because we do get a lot of questions in our office or reports of people setting off fireworks. And so we did want to communicate that out. So if you have somebody who is asking you a question, please feel free to send them to both the city ordinance and the Ohio Revised Code that specifically addresses that. We are doing something new in the newsletter, and that's a Q&A corner. This is an opportunity for citizens to submit questions to the administration, and we will work with individual departments throughout the city to be able to answer those questions. For this newsletter, we have Tyler Cobb and Jim Stanley. One is related to zoning. The other is related to the railroad overpass on South Court Street. So please be on the lookout for that information. Those also go out Thursdays through the email where the newsletter is sent out. So if you haven't signed up to get the newsletter, go ahead and sign up for that. There's a QR code on our website where you can do that to sign up for that newsletter and get that information every month, or the question and answers every week. Of course, what's happening in development is in there. For this specific one, we also did a finance corner that specifically targeted grants. There's a whole page dedicated to grants, what they are, how we apply, what the process is, and all of that. Mr. Duvall, in the previous meeting, you talked about the amount of grants that Service has gotten. The total that is represented here is $31,074,000.
Thank you.
For everything for Service. There are grants that I highlighted in my report a few weeks ago through the fire department as well. And so we are actually working on a complete list of grants that the city has been awarded over the last 5 years to present to the public. We recognize our employee achievements in here. We talk about the paving projects. We did start a city Instagram. So if you don't use Facebook, but you use Instagram, you can follow the city's Instagram page. We created a Parks and Rec guide. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it highlights all of the parks throughout the city, what features are at each park, what's available there. So we're really happy about that. Reminder, as the heat ebbs and flows, that the city does have a cooling center at Vineyard Church when the temperature gets to be over 93 degrees. I won't go into any of the other information that's in the newsletter. Please feel free to subscribe. Those are the things I wanted to point out. There will be 2 letters from the mayor's office that'll be read into the record this evening. And so I would just ask that I could speak about that when those are read. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Okay. Do any council members have questions for our elected officials this evening?
I have some feedback to the mayor that several people, the Q&A has hit it right. 3 people says, this is really, really helpful.
Good. Well, we're trying to just answer the questions that individuals may have. And if one person has it, there's likely 10, 15 with a population our size that has the same question. And so no question is a stupid question. Please feel free to submit those and we will try to answer them as quickly and as best as we can.
Thank you. Okay, we now have time for our public addresses to council. Would anyone in the audience like to address us this evening? Please come to the podium, state your name. You have 5 minutes.
3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Dave Horning, 569 Plaza Drive. I thank Mayor Blanton for talking about the July 4th, 2026 events that will be happening next year and getting ready for that. I'd just like to remind everybody that 2026 will also be the 25th anniversary of 9/11, September 11th, 2001, September 11th, 2026. So, you know, we might keep that in the back of my mind and of our minds if we want to do anything special for that date also in 2026.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Please come to the podium. Don't be shy.
I'm not shy. I'm not sure if you guys have any of these answers or not.
Can you give us your
because
name,
the-
please?
I'm Debbie Leisure.
Okay, thank you.
I was here last
I
meeting.
know, but you still have to tell us again. Welcome back.
Thank you. I noticed that the developer isn't here, so I guess you maybe don't have any of these answers. But I'm wondering about the housing unit going behind our condos across from Ohio Christian. Is that low income?
I do not believe so. No.
I don't believe so. I believe it's single family homes, townhomes, and the apartments would not be low income that I'm aware of.
My understanding is it's market based.
Yeah, it's market rate.
Okay, and as far as the apartments go, they started out, they weren't going to have any, and then Ohio Christian asked to have some built. I'm assuming so their students could maybe live there. And now I'm wondering if it's kind of a pay-to-play thing where they didn't want to look at it, so they moved them back behind where we're going to have them right in our backyard, and they don't have to look at it. I mean, that's why they had them moved.
I can't specifically answer that. I haven't been in the discussions for that project.
Well, I know they wanted to move them, to put the roundabout in. I know there was a lot of, well, we'll do this if you do that type thing. They didn't want to have their entrance right across from them. And now the apartments, they didn't want them there, so now they're moved. I'm just wondering why Ohio Christian has so much say in where things are going in this development. Does anybody know?
But I believe that they did own some of the land that was purchased. Is that correct, Mayor?
So I can tell you factual information. I have completely stepped out of this
Right.
based on a conflict of interest. And so I haven't necessarily been in those meetings.
I know Ohio Christian has a north of there,
Yes.
but I think this is a separate
Or-
farm independent of them.
The
Okay.
entrance, the road is going through property owned by the Churches of Christ and Christian Union, not Ohio Christian University.
And was it that church that wanted the apartments moved or Ohio Christian? I believe it was Ohio Christian didn't want the apartments across from them, so they moved them to the back. And I'm wondering why they put them right where buildings are. Why they couldn't put them in areas, I don't want them over where the other houses are either. I don't want them to have to look at them. Why they didn't put them in an area where there are no housing housing developments. Why they put them right 200 feet behind our houses.
Well, this would be something you could go in and talk to our planner about. She could give you more information. We are just a legislative body. We don't have anything to do with the specifics of planning and that sort of thing like you're talking about.
Okay, and I don't understand, why is it, I mean, it's already been approved and everything, we don't even know what they're gonna look like. They don't have any pictures of any of these, what they're gonna look like.
I don't think they're to that stage yet.
There's
These
three
are-
more
We're
steps.
just doing the zoning right now, aren't we?
There's three more steps.
Three
before
more
I get-
steps.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is,
These are
as
early,
tonight will be the.
these are early days.
Okay,
No.
do you know how many stories the apartment units are gonna be? I know there's 10 units.
Yeah. I'm
There's
sorry.
10 units and there's gonna be, or there's 10 buildings and there's going to be 224 units.
Here, I
So,
would send you to the administration office and you can talk to the planner. She could give you more information about that, or maybe, give you the number of the developer to call for specific information. But it's all in early stages. So
mhm.
I believe even the designs that they presented could be adjusted, going forward. Nothing is set in stone at this point. And you're
I hope. I mean, I hate to have, I mean, we have $250, $300 condos that are going to have apartment buildings right smack in our backyard now. And I know that that's going to be developed and I appreciate that, tax money and all that stuff. But why they had to put them there and not 100 yards over to the left where there's nothing. Thank you.
Can't tell you.
Anyway, thank you.
Please give us your name and
My name's Scott McClintock. I'm with Cass Corporation. I actually represent the developer of
okay, great.
the site. Try to answer some of the questions for. First question you had was with regards to low-income housing. It is all intended to be market rate housing, so it's not intended for that. The location of the apartments and the overall site plan has evolved. We've always had the apartments in our plan. They've moved across the site. We had at one point a lot more. And I'm sorry, I'm supposed to
Speak
be,
to us, please,
I'm
and then
sorry.
into the microphone so we can all hear.
and they were adjusted for various reasons, some of which were the access negotiations with the school and the church, and the locations that we have for the townhouses and the apartments, and the way the zoning is set up, the apartments can actually be downgraded per se in density to become townhouses. So that location has been set at that location for the access roads that come through and ultimately the access to Route 22. The appearance, as the board mentioned, is something that's going to be developed through the process. I believe our development plan is when all of the various elevations and such will be coming in at that stage. And I believe the last question was the number of stories. I think it's 2 to 3 stories, but I don't know final plans until we have a final plan to provide to you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to address council? Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Colasar, do we have any communications this evening?
Yes, we do. Council has received 2 pieces of communication from the mayor's office. The mayor sent a letter thanking Tanya Winfield for agreeing to serve on the tax board, and the mayor sent a letter thanking Kristen Adele for agreeing to serve on the tax board.
Mayor, could you tell us a little bit about the Tax Incentive Review Board? Is that a new board you've established?
So it is not a new board that has been established by the mayor's office. This is established by Ohio Revised Code when we use tax incentives within the city, whether it is for commercial or residential. What this board does is it meets annually with the county and city auditor, along with other appointees from other municipalities determined by the Ohio Revised Code. They review all agreements granting exemptions from property taxation. They review all exemptions from property taxation resulting from the declaration of public purpose improvement. So that's our TIFs. They can request any information reasonably necessary to make determinations. They can use all of that information to make recommendations to council to take away the incentives from the people that we have given them to if they don't meet the requirements of the agreements that they have signed, like just recently our CRA agreements. If the Tax Increment Review Council finds that they are not complying with that, they can make a recommendation for those incentives to be reduced or removed from that developer or the property owner. They review compliance on each recipient of tax exemption under Section 725 or 1728 or other Ohio Revised Code sections regarding non-discriminatory hiring policies. So there's a long list of requirements that they are responsible for. Again, they meet once a year to review all of these agreements and make sure that everyone is complying with the agreements that they signed, and meeting what they said they were going to do.
Sounds like a good thing to have that oversight.
This is in addition to the Housing Review Council that is being put in place for the CRA. It is separate.
Okay. All right. Well, we certainly appreciate Ms. Winfield and Ms. Odell serving the city in this capacity. Is there a motion to accept this correspondence and place it on file? So
I'll make that motion.
by Tom Klitschko, seconded by John Motes. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Is that all of our correspondence? Ms. Colasar?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that brings us to the legislation portion of our meeting this evening. As you can see, we have 4 council members here tonight, which is a quorum, so we are able to have a meeting and act on our legislation. However, we cannot suspend the 3 readings rule. We have to have 6 of the council members, a 3/4 majority, in order to be able to do that. So we will review the ordinances this evening, but we will hold those for a second reading at the next council meeting. Ms. Colasar, would you please read the first ordinance?
An ordinance amending the annual appropriation ordinance in the General Fund 101 Municipal Court CCA Grant 24/25 Fund 263 Sanitary Sewer Operating Fund 909 Sanitary Sewer Improvements and Extensions Fund 920 of the City of Circleville.
Thank you. That comes to us from the Finance Committee.
Indeed.
Duval?
Indeed, I guess I mentioned we discussed this on our meeting of the 24th, and Mark, if I may, you kind of led that discussion in our meeting. Would you do it again?
Absolutely, thank you. So this is some of the a lot of the pass-through money that we've received recently that we're appropriating. There's 3 large ones. There's $888,000. That was an OPWC grant. That was for the North Court Street and Pickaway Street parks. We're accounting for that and appropriating that money. There's also a $250,000 donation from PCCF and for the new Ted Lowe's Park Shelter House, and also a $20,000 insurance reimbursement. So that's all going to the parks. There was a let's see. And the other big one was for the sanitary sewer improvement and extensions. It's another $1.5 million pass-through loan or pass-through funds for the OWDA loan. So basically, there's some monies that we have that the OWDA pays to the contractors, and we have to account for that money. So the overall ordinance, the housekeeping is $2.789 million, but 90% of that money is all pass-through money. So it's money we don't even actually see. We're just accounting for that money coming in and going back out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? No? All right, I will entertain a motion to hold that for a second reading. So moved by Tom Duval,
I'll second.
seconded by John Motes. Mrs. Colasar, please call the roll.
Zeiss,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Adopting the budget of the City of Circleville, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026, and submitting the same to the county auditor.
Thank you. This also came to us from the Finance Committee. Mr. Duval?
Relatively self-explain, never mind. The title well describes the budget that we're going to look at 2026, which is still not it's not engraved in granite, but it's a step. But again, Mr. Mark, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I did want to clarify something that I was reading through on the ordinance or the Ohio Revised Code regarding the timing of this, because I did say that that'd be done by the 15th. Rereading that, it has to be approved and signed by the 15th by the board, by the council, and it has to be to the county auditor by the 20th. So that will give us a little bit more flexibility in order to get this to them on time. But again, it will need the 3 readings as long as we can get that through. So, but with that being said, like Tom said, it is a very, very preliminary budget. Basically what the county auditor is wanting is what we estimate we're going to be receiving next year. I always try to be very conservative on what we're going to be receiving. I've usually been under what we've received since I've been here. So just kind of give you an idea or where we're at and some of the bigger numbers. What I'm estimating for our
general fund for next year is that we will be receiving $9.19 million. This year, I had estimated $8.21 million. A couple of big things is there's an IRA grant that was not accounted for this year because we didn't know we were going to get it and didn't know the amounts. But next year we can account for that grant, which is I estimated $265,000. Also, the real estate taxes, I estimated $1 million for 2025 and $1.3 million for next year. So between those, that's $565,000. So between everything, again, it comes to 9.19 compared to 8.21 that I had for 2025. The expenditures, and again, going back to general fund, the big increase is the safety forces, because a lot of the money that was in 227, and that's kind of something to step back. This does only represent the 2% income tax. So this does not include any possible future levies for the city. So I do want to let you know that this is just for the 2% income tax that we'll be receiving. Since we're going to be receiving, since most of the cost of security is going, or sorry, it says security on here, safety forces moves up to the general fund. That's going to be increasing by about $400,000 is what I estimated. The total cost, I mean, that with being the largest one, I have as total of $10.46 million in expenditures for the general fund, leaving us an estimated at the end of 2026 going into 2027. Again, that's why you can see it's so preliminary, 18 months out. I have an estimate of $762,000 remaining in a general fund after 2026. The other, just to kind of give you because of with the utilities department, the numbers they have out there, they skew a lot of things. So I just want to go ahead and give you the total overall numbers that we're going to be budgeting for next year. And this again includes the utilities. We estimate that we will be receiving $33,204,000 in revenue, and out of that, over $15 million is in the in utilities, and that's for their ongoing projects that they have over there. So, so that's the big numbers there. I can definitely break it down by anybody if they have any questions or anything we're looking at. Just to kind of give you an idea of the payroll, I did put an increase of 4% across the board as far as my estimate for the cost of payroll. Last year, I did a much higher because we were still in contract negotiations and I didn't know what they were. At this time, they're pretty set for 2026, so we should be with the 4% that will cover the cost, barring hiring in new employees or employees not returning.
Okay, thank you. It's a lot of information.
President Pro Tem.
Yes.
I just wanted to point out, as documented on here, if you look at the general fund exhibit 1 on here and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it does show from 2024 that our actual budget ending unencumbered fund balance for the general fund was $3.54 million. As the auditor pointed out, that same line for 2026 would be $762,000. If you subtract those two numbers, that's $2.7 million, which is about the difference of what we have collected from the previous income tax, from going from 2.5 down to 2.0. And so you could visibly see that on this budget, how you can see where we were at the end of 2024 versus where we're going to be going into 2026.
Yes. So when the safety levy ended at the end of 2024, we were in good shape, and having to go through all of 2025 without that extra income is really costing the city we basically are working through our savings essentially, to put it in household type of terms.
Mhm.
So hopefully the citizens will really consider supporting that levy in November. So, okay. I will entertain, are there any other questions,
No,
comments? No?
no. Good information.
I will entertain a motion to hold that for a second reading. By Tom Duval, seconded by John Moats. Mrs. Colasar, please read the roll.
Tice,
Yes.
Bliska,
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
An ordinance to amend the zoning district of 0 Stoutsville Pike, parcel number A35-0-001-00-022-00, and parcel number A35-0-001-00-023-00 from LDR Low Density Residential District to PUD Planned Unit Development District.
Thank you. This ordinance was reviewed by the Judicial Committee. Mr. Klitschko, would you like to tell us about it?
Yes, absolutely. We originally had a public hearing back on the 17th of June, and then the ordinance was passed to us on June 24th. At that time, we did say to move this over to full council. This is only the movement from a low density to planned unit development of the 125 acres out there on between 22 and Stoutsville Pike. And that's really what we want today so we'd like to do is actually make a motion to hold this for a second reading on July 15th, please.
Yes, yes. And just to further clarify, we are not approving the development at this point. This is only to approve the change in zoning. So we have a motion by Mr. Klitschko. I have a second by Mr. Duval. Mrs. Colasar, please call the roll.
Tice,
Yes.
Bliska.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any new business this evening?
No.
I would entertain motions to excuse any council members who might be absent this
Shall we
evening.
start?
Sure.
I'd like to excuse President Keller.
I don't think he needs.
Do we need to do that?
Nope.
Oh, we don't. Okay, then let's start with, how about Mrs. Hedges?
Okay, motion to excuse Katie Hedges by Tom Pliska, seconded by John Moats. All in favor, say aye.
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 I'd like to make a motion to excuse Jeff Helen, please.
Motion by Mr. Klitschko.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Moats. All in favor, say aye.
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 Tom or John, you're on.
Okay, I'll make a motion to excuse Audra Lukasak.
Okay, the motion by John Moats, seconded by Tom Duval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Well, let me just say, we are, before you do that, hold that thought.
Okay, I'll hold it.
We are considering having a special council meeting next Tuesday in order to hear the budget ordinance. Again, we do have a pressing time limit on that, so it has not been decided for sure yet, but we will discuss that with President Keller, and that may be happening next.
President Pro Tem.
Yes.
We have some guests here. Can we ask if they have anything that they'd like to present?
Oh,
Sure.
I see uniforms and whatnot too.
Would you like to
Also
come up and say
Tanya
hello? Sure. Welcome. Are always,
Hello, everyone.
yeah, what's your name, sir?
My name is Caleb Cassidy. I'm from Asheville, Ohio. I just want to come on here and say thank you all for all you'll do. And I'm from Troop 170, or 5170, it's officially called. Yeah, communication badge, merit badge that was required for Eagle. So I'll hopefully in the years I'll be in scouting, I'll transition into Eagle Scout. So, yeah, thank you
Good
guys.
for you.
And
Well,
good luck.
yes,
Thank you.
best of luck with all of that.
159 from Asheville?
Yeah, Circleville actually.
Circle.
Really?
Oh wait, I used to do 159, but now I do the
170.
170, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Not that I know 159 from Asheville, I just security.
Yeah.
did that for a couple
Yeah.
of years and then they weren't as active as 170.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
And if
for
I'm-
being here.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
thank
if I'm not mistaken, you are a part of the troop that always has a wonderful pumpkin show float in our
Yes.
parades. Yes. So thank you for participating in that as well.
We do have another question or concern back there too.
Okay, please come up.
As a veteran, I'm just wondering, with the flags downtown, how much does it cost to replace those?
That's something.
They're so,
Talk to the-
they're so bad looking right now. I'm just wondering
Why don't you make,
how much that is.
Let me get that information for you from the Visitors Bureau. 'Cause I
Okay.
believe they are the ones that do that.
Okay, I'd appreciate it. I love to look at a nice, fresh flag, so.
all right, thank you. so
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Moats, did you have a motion?
Yeah, motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Moats, seconded by Mr. Duval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much for coming. Meeting is adjourned at 7:35.